Thanks to all of you that submitted your questions for this hashtag WWE 2014 Q&A. The topic of next week's Q&A is hashtag TNA 2014. So here's what you can do. You go to Twitter, tweet your questions about TNA in this upcoming year to Add Off the Rope Show using the hashtag TNA 2014. Let's go with this one now, see what we can come up with. At M Route, a Mr. Route sighting here. Holy shitballs. He has a question for me. Why is WWE making their big announcement on Wednesday night and not waiting until Thursday to cut into TNA's viewing? I kind of thought that too, Mikey. That's a good question. I guess they figure in the grand scheme of things, TNA is so insignificant to them that it really doesn't matter. So as a result, they don't even care. Plus aligning it with the CES, all that other stuff. But yeah, it's a good question. I thought about that for a little bit too. I'm like, why don't they just wait till Thursday night? At Comfy Burgess, what wrestler in WWE will break out in 2014? The most likely to break out will probably be Roman Reigns, at least the way it looks at this moment. And can you review SmackDown? If I started watching SmackDown again, I would start reviewing SmackDown again. I do not watch SmackDown. As a result, I'm not going to review a show that I don't watch. And it's that simple. At D_Rizzle, which superstar do you think will have the most compelling storyline this year and why? How do you define compelling? Let's hope it's Daniel Bryan. Let's hope. I'll leave it at that. At OTRS Motherfucker, who do you think will hold the WWE Undisputed Championship next year? In 2015? Or you mean 2014? I'm just being a smartass. The WWE World Heavyweight Champions in 2014 will be Randy Orton, Dave Batista, John Cena, maybe Sheamus. That's a lot of Breakfast Club love right there, ladies and gentlemen. And who do you think will be Big E Langston for the belt in 2014, if anyone? Hell if I know at this point, but I would assume he's not going to carry the strap the entire year. At Zero Cool 1389, with WrestleMania 30 coming up, do you feel Mr. T deserves a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Part of the reason for the success of the first two WrestleManias is because of Mr. T's involvement. There's no question about that. Mr. T in the mid 80s was incredibly hot. He was white hot. And him being involved with it lended itself to getting the WWF tremendous mainstream national press coverage for WrestleMania 1 and 2, and the number of eyeballs that got onto the product because of Mr. T's involvement increased exponentially during that time. There is no question. When they talk about celebrities in the Hall of Fame wing, Mr. T definitely deserves a spot. Somebody who played a very big role in that company's history that they far too often, I think, neglect a little bit for their own reasons. And I understand that, but still doesn't change history and still doesn't change facts. At Mr. Nice Hangover Guy 1, do you think a Roman Reigns versus Batista match at a Big Four pay-per-view will help push Roman Reigns and make him a star? Oh, hell yeah. That's something you could see maybe at a SummerSlam, let's say. I would put a Roman Reigns on the map. There's no question about it. It would be an intriguing matchup. And I think it would definitely help make him a star. At Rusty Gillespie, what scenario would you like to play out for The Rock when he returns? I don't know if I've really thought of one yet, frankly. Haven't given much thought to The Rock returning. I'm all focused on Hogan returning for WrestleMania 30, brother. Unless they did some like one super mega uber babyface tag team like Hogan, Cena, and Rock versus the Wyatt family. Oh shit, man! Could you imagine the politics involved? Can you imagine the booking time? The when the time would come to book the finish of the match, and you've got Hogan, Rock, and Cena. Oh, what I would give to be a fly on that wall. Oh my god. At Edsel 4, which superstars will get the big push in 2014? Like everybody is assuming Roman Reigns, and understandably so. I think one of the two members of the Shield, but not both, probably Dean Ambrose at this particular moment. I think Bray Wyatt's going to get a big, huge push in 2014. I also think Big E Langston will as well. Maybe Cody Rhodes, but maybe he'll get a little lost in the shuffle. Those would be some of the guys that I would envision getting a big push. Maybe in terms of Divas, somebody like Summer Rae or maybe somebody like Paige. At Karim Farem Awi, do you think Savage will be in this year's Hall of Fame? I hope so. I really want it to happen. It should have happened a long time ago. Unfortunately, I don't think the writing's on the wall right now, so I don't think he will be, sadly. And I don't care what anybody says about, it doesn't mean as much because he's not here anymore. Well, no kidding. I get that. But it doesn't change the fact that he's still not in. So every year that he's not in is yet another year that he's not in. The quicker it happens, the quicker he gets in. At Rare Breed RKO 97, do you think this is going to be Ryback's year to shine, or do you think that it'll be an afterthought and or released? I definitely don't think it'll be his year to shine. I don't know if he'll get future endeavored, although you never know, it could get to that point. But I think it'll become an increasing afterthought as the year progresses, no question about it. Let me see here. Who do we have next? All right. And do you think the Authority angle is going to end this year? Same question, same person. Our Rare Breed RKO 97. Possible, maybe probable, but not out of the question that it would continue on into 2015. I really don't envision Triple H giving up his spot on television anytime soon. At Blanchard Buzz, of the current roster, who do you think would make a good stable formation in 2014, a la the DXs or the Horsemen of the NWOs of the world? Um, Obviously, one would be the Breakfast Club. You just have one dominant heel faction that runs through every fucking buddy. It's Triple H, it's Cena, it's Orton, it's Shawn Michaels at sporadic times, it's fucking Batista, it's Sheamus. Oh, could you imagine? Oh, that would be awesome. 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 Now, of course, you could go with the old ROH faction of CM Punk and the Daniel Bryan and the Antonio Cesaro and Seth Rollins, and the internet would go on. You know what? That's what the internet crowd would fap to. I'll fap to the thought of a Breakfast Club faction. We can all fap to something, okay? No hate here. That's the best I got for you. At Master Nobody 30. What do you want to see out of Batista when he comes back? I want to see him put over newer talent. I don't want to see him come back just to put over newer talent just for the shits and giggles of it, a la Chris Jericho. I frankly think Chris Jericho has put over far too many talents, and it diminishes what it means to beat somebody like a Chris Jericho. I'm all for Batista putting over the occasional individual, maybe let's say like a Roman Reigns or a Sheamus, somebody along those lines, but you got to bring him back. He's not just going to be there part time. It sounds like he's going to be there for a decent length run. You got to treat him like he's a top guy, and you just don't want to have him losing to anybody and everybody. Can't have him losing to a new guy or a young guy just because the guy is new or the guy is young. It's got to make sense. It's got to be right for business. It's got to do something in a way that doesn't diminish Batista and his character and his drawing power and his star power. At Colton 587, where do you see the Daniel Bryan and Wyatt family storyline going? Straight in the shitter. Next. You asked. I told you. Not huge on it. 1 week in, definitely not huge on it, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Joe and Jen asked, would you like to see Hulk Hogan in this year's Rumble? Yes. If it was physically possible for him to, no doubt about it. Just to think about the reaction he would get if all of a sudden I'm a Real American hit at entrant number 30. You want to talk about pops? That would be a pop. And if so, would you like his elimination deleted a match at Mania? Ultimately, in an ideal world, where Hogan could have one last really short run and work a program heading into Mania and actually be physically capable of working a full match. I know I will get shit on for this. I do not care. I would have sat there and maybe teased it beforehand, kind of like if you watched the Rocky Balboa movie where they did the little simulation between Antonio Tarver's character and Rocky Balboa's character, and Rocky Balboa won, and then you got both people or people on both sides, talking about this, and it eventually hypes up and leads to this big fight, and the old lion is taking his one last shot at glory. I think you could make a storyline very similar to this, with Hulk Hogan, especially with the similarities between the Hulk Hogan character and in some cases the John Cena character. You could make up a tremendous story about this. I know you'll shit on me, but I'd have Hogan win the fucking Rumble. It'd be one last opportunity, that one big moment in the sun, that one big moment in the spotlight. Could you imagine Hulk Hogan versus John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 30 for the WWE Undisputed whatever World fucking Heavyweight Championship? So many story possibilities there. So many. Be captivating. The match would almost be secondary. And in Yoki 14, what type of wrestlers would you like to see more of this year in the upper, mid to main event level? High flyer, technical, etc. I'd like to see some bigger individuals, some guys that work different style matches. I just want to see more potpourri and variety at the top, frankly. Sometimes it's like it becomes too much of one or too much of the other. I want guys that look different and act different and talk different and wrestle different and work different. Those are the type of guys that I want at the top. It doesn't have to be any one set type of guy. At DJ Hanyak, how do you think Smokey would have reacted to Mark Henry getting manhandled by Brock Lesnar in quick fashion? Well, first, when they were here the week before, and Richmond and Brock Lesnar did that, you best believe Smokey had been flying his ass downtown. He would have hopped right on 64, got off at the 5th Street exit, went right to the Richmond Coliseum and beat the ever-loving dog shit and Jimmy Johns out of Brock Lesnar. And then would have resuscitated him to do the shit again. Fucking Smokey would have come on here and he'd been like, "You motherfucker, I'm gonna come over there and slap the taste out of your girl screaming ass." Yeah, that's kind of what he would have done. Yeah, Smokey would have clowned it, but the WWE knows if Smokey was still around, they wouldn't be pulling this shit. They'd have been sending Big Show out there to get bitched out by Brock Lesnar and have Mark Henry come in and make the save. And you guys know damn good and well that's true. At Yuri Ambassador, do you see Brock Lesnar winning the title? And if so, what would you predict his title run being like? If you thought The Rock was a part-time champion, what the hell would Brock Lesnar be? I really don't see him winning the title. I could be wrong in 2014. What would his title run be like? He'd show up once a month. That's about it. At Ty Mills 1104, did Daniel Bryan get a true WWE Championship title reign? Hell no. Should he have? Yes. Will he in 2014? I'm very skeptical on that right now. Also, do you see Ryback turning face again this year? The only thing I see that Eeyore-looking motherfucker turning in is into an even more irrelevant piece of crap that will continue to be buried further and further down the card and continue to be less and less relevant to the audience every week. That's what I see. At MacDog714, do you think Roman Reigns' babyface push will go to the top or will it just flop like other big pushes? I think it could go to the top because he does fit so many things in the WWE profile of what they want out of a top guy. He's big, he's young, he's muscular, he's Samoan, so he's not black, so he's definitely got the love of the WWE there. I could flop though. It could. But I really think they'll figure out a way to get the machine behind him and make him a big deal. Do you think Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins will get a push in 2014? I talked about it a little bit before. I think Ambrose might be more likely to get a push in 2014 than Seth Rollins. Hopefully both of them do. How excited would you be if Jeff Jarrett made a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble? Fuck you. Next question, asshole. At Rock Fools for Life. Well, look at me. I'm going to make a funny question about Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, the fuck? It's a serious business here, damn it. At Rock Fools for Life. Do you think we'll get another Cena versus Bryan match in 2014? We should. We should. If they were going to do a unification match, it should have been Cena versus Daniel Bryan, maybe at the Royal Rumble. You're asking, will they do it maybe with Bryan as champion, and if so, who would win? Well, Cena put him over once. I highly doubt he's going to put him over again. Come on, let's be realistic. So again, thanks to all of you that submitted your questions for this hashtag WWE 2014 Q&A. Next week around this time will be the hashtag TNA 2014 Q&A. Go to Twitter, tweet your hashtag TNA 2014 questions. Easy for me to say. @OffTheRopeShow. I'll see you later.